Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to TOI Sports, your daily show where we discuss all things cricket and more specifically Indian cricket. The second ODI to be played today between India and England at Cuttack. But before that, let's have a power pack panel to discuss and preview this contest, which starts in about an hour's time. We have with us Avijit Ghosh, who's joining us from Delhi. We have Saurabh Somani, who's joining us from down south. And finally, we have Dwaipan Datta from his couch in Chennai. All three of you, please, thanks a lot for joining us on this show today. I want to start off with you, Dwaipan. This second ODI starts about an hour's time. We have a toss in about 28 minutes. Uh, any doubts at all in your mind about one Mr. Virat Kohli playing today in the second ODI?
Doesn't seem so. He was there in practice. He did everything that was necessary, and I hope I'm not proven wrong in 28 minutes. But then, yeah, there shouldn't be a doubt. He should be playing, and yeah, I think he will be replacing Yashasvi Jaiswal. Is it? Is that the way to go? I think that will probably be the case because Shreyas Iyer is undroppable at the moment. So yeah, let's see.
Avijita, what's your take? If Virat comes in, which is inevitable, who does he replace?
Look, as we know that as Shreyas had revealed after the match that he was the guy who was going to sit out and not Yashasvi. So that means that even if Kohli was fit in the first match, Yashasvi would have played. So I think, considering the form of Rohit, the Indian think tank is thinking long term in terms of Yashasvi. So while based on his performance, he and the fact that he's a newcomer, he should be sitting out. But it it is also possible that we drop one of the all rounders or even Shreyas. I'm not sure,
That's a tough
despite
call.
his performance.
That's a tough call. Saurabh, where do you stand on that?
Uh, I think it would make it very exciting if the guy he replaces is Rohit Sharma, but that's not going to happen. So I think the guy who will sit out most likely, according to me, should be Yashasvi Jaiswal. Because like Dwaipan Bhai said, Shreyas has made himself undroppable after that knock. I mean, by all logical viewpoint, Shreyas should be undroppable, especially after that knock. And we discussed this last time also. His was the thing that changed the game. Shubman Gill, of course, played really well too. But Shreyas gave that punch back, which, allowed Shubman the time to settle, to play at his own pace. And Shreyas gave that punch back when both the openers had fallen early. So everything points to him being in the 11. But the thing is, he was in great form in one-day cricket before the last ODI also, and still they were thinking of dropping him. So you never know.
Uh, Dwaipan, there's obviously no doubt about Virat Kohli's record in one-day cricket. He's a champion in the one-day format. In terms of chasing, there's no one better than him in one-day cricket. Is it the fact that he has had a poor run in Test cricket? Is that the worry that everybody has going into this one-day series and then the Champions Trophy?
That has to be the worry that will obviously play in everybody's mind as he goes into this one day series and consequently the Champions Trophy. But the thing about him is that, see, even going into the 2023 World Cup, like his test record hasn't been great for a while, but then he has somehow managed to find his groove when it comes to ODI cricket, where so there it may not be as difficult for him in ODI cricket as it is in Test cricket, for the simple reason is that there is not a slip cordon in ODI cricket by the time he comes into bat, not normally. So that gives him a little bit of cushion. So the problem that has bothered him in Test cricket may not recur in ODI cricket to that extent. Yes, once or twice it may happen, but it's unlikely that it is going to bother him for a very long for a period of time. So the odd good score here and there in white ball in ODI cricket can be expected from Kohli at this stage.
But Abhijita, the bigger question is the form of the skipper, Rohit Sharma. There seems to be no end to his troubles with low scores in recent times. It's been a long time, possibly since the T20 World Cup, that we've seen him do anything of note. If you leave the Kanpur test out of the question, how are we going to solve this issue with Rohit Sharma and his form? Is it all about him carrying on till the Champions Trophy? You think?
अब देखिए रोहित शर्मा को एक तरह से हम उनके रन्स को ना एक तरह से रन्स मान के चलना पड़ेगा. ही हैज उनका फॉर्म इतने दिनों से बुरा चल रहा है कि वो एक तरह से हम मान के ही चलते हैं कि अगर वो कुछ रन बना देते हैं तो टीम के लिए बोनस है. अब रोहित शर्मा का जो कॉल है वो तो उनका कॉल नहीं है, वो तो सिलेक्टर्स का कॉल है ना कि वो उनको चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में कप्तान उनको कहाँ रखना है, क्या पोजीशन करना है, वो तो एक बड़ा लंबा सवाल है. द ओनली positive thing, since he's the captain of this side and he's playing, we can only hope that in the next two games he scores some runs, because that if he scores runs, the whole the positivity of the team and the confidence of the entire team goes up. A captain with runs under his belt is far better as a captain. तो ये एक चीज है. पर विराट का भी जो फॉर्म है ना, वो सिर्फ ओडीआई का फॉर्म नहीं, सिर्फ टेस्ट का फॉर्म नहीं है. आप उनका जो वर्ल्ड कप था, जो T20 वर्ल्ड कप था, उसमें आप उनका फॉर्म देख लीजिए. सिवाय फाइनल के वो किसी भी मैच में नहीं चले थे. पर यह बात और है कि उन्होंने फाइनल में बहुत अच्छी बल्लेबाजी की और उन्होंने एक तरह से एंकर किया. लेकिन उनका T20 मतलब वो जो परफॉर्मेंस उस वर्ल्ड कप में अच्छा नहीं था. तो लेकिन एक बात मैं विराट के बारे में बोलना चाहूंगा कि बाराबती स्टेडियम जो है उसमें 5 साल के बाद हम एक ओडीआई मैच देख रहे हैं. और लास्ट ओडीआई मैच जो हुआ था उसमें विराट ही मैन ऑफ द मैच बने थे. वो वेस्ट इंडीज के खिलाफ हम खेले थे और विराट ने उस ग्राउंड में 85 रन बनाए थे, वो मैन ऑफ द मैच बने थे. इनफैक्ट बाराबती स्टेडियम के बारे में मैं थोड़ा सा रिकॉर्ड्स देख रहा था. सारे जो मैचेस हुए हैं लास्ट 3 मैचेस, they have all been very high scoring encounters. मतलब वेस्ट इंडीज वाला मैच में जो फर्स्ट वेस्ट इंडीज ने 315 बनाए वो तो उतना ज्यादा नहीं था, लेकिन उसके बाद हमने 2017 में इंग्लैंड के साथ खेला था यहाँ पे, और उस मैच में इंडिया हैड रीच्ड 381 रन्स. युवराज सिंह ने आतिशी पारी खेली थी, उन्होंने 150 रन्स बनाए थे, जिसके कारण हम जीते थे, पर बिल्कुल 15 रन से जीते थे. तो वो मतलब हाई स्कोरिंग थ्रिलर हो गया था. और उसके पहले वाला भी जो मैच था उसमें इंडिया ने 363 रन बनाए थे. रहाणे और शिखर दोनों ने ओपन किया था, दोनों ने सेंचुरीज बनाए थे. सो टुडे बाराबती स्टेडियम में थोड़ा अगर पिच बदला नहीं है तो वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट अ रन फीस्ट.
सो सौरभ, इन दैट सेंस, इज दैट गुड न्यूज? क्या ये अच्छी खबर है कि बिकॉज इट इज लाइकली टू बी अ रन फीस्ट, ये रोहित के लिए सबसे बेस्ट ऑप्शन होगा?
I mean, it's good news for Rohit Sharma. I don't know if it's good news for the Indian team as such, as a whole, because this series, you have to look at it as prep for the Champions Trophy, right? There is no other ODIs that they're going to play. So, will we get complete flat track belters in the Champions Trophy? I don't think so, because the IL T20 has just taken place. Today is the final, in fact, in Dubai over the last month, Dubai, Sharjah, and Abu Dhabi. So, the tracks in Dubai are not going to be complete belters. They have not been complete belters for the IL T20 at least. So, do you want to play on pitches that sort of mirror what you're going to get in the Champions Trophy? Not necessarily on belters. So, but I mean, of course, the other way to look at it is, if it is a flat pitch and Rohit Sharma gets some luck and some form going, then that could alter the whole outlook of the Indian team. If he gets his confidence back, your feet suddenly start moving better, your hands are more decisive, your everything, your decision making is more crisp. Everything happens, that non-quantifiable stuff just falls into place, and then suddenly India are back to looking like a real threat. I mean, we all remember how Rohit Sharma was at the top of the order in the World Cup. If he gets back to even, like, 70-80% of that, India is still a real threat, because in the World Cup, I think he and Virat Kohli were equal for me in terms of batting. Although Kohli got a lot more runs, I think impact-wise they were both equal in terms of their batting. So if Rohit Sharma can get back to that, it will be great. But can he or not? I don't know, because the kind of bad form he has had, I know we generally shouldn't mix formats, but the kind of bad form he has had is so dire that you can't help but wonder, like, is this a form issue, or is it a decline that is just age related thing, or to which no one can do anything about it. Like, Don Bradman got old, Sachin Tendulkar got old, everybody will get old and lose their skills a little bit. So
So, Dwaipan, it clearly means that Saurabh is pro Rohit Sharma and sort of batting against someone else. Considering that particular trend, uh, you for you also, this is a match of like it could be these two matches and then the Champions Trophy. It's a matter of conflict of interest for you also, because you've got two of your boys in the lineup in Varun Chakravarti and Washington Sundar. Then you also have Harshit Rana, who owes his allegiance to Kolkata Knight Riders. So you're also torn between all these three characters. Varun Chakravarti specifically, they have brought him in with a specific purpose in the lineup, in the squad rather. Do you see him at all playing any of the matches? Because if you look at the makeup of the side, and because Gautam Gambhir likes longer batting lineups, how is he ever going to play? He can only play if Kuldeep is not around. Otherwise, do you
Yes,
see him playing in this any of the matches?
yes, I think so. That is what their thinking will be. Like, if Varun has to play, then he has to play in place of Kuldeep, and if Washington Sundar has to play, he has to play in place of either Jadeja or Aksar. I do not see any other slot opening up for them, because India is trying to forge a template where they have these three three all rounders in the middle and three bowlers. So they have six bowlers who can bowl, and if Hardik Pandya is having a slight off day, then that can be managed. So they I do not think they will move from that template, and for that, if Varun Chakravarti, if he wants to see Varun Chakravarti, it is about what the aim of this game is. Is it to win the series 2-0? Then obviously you try not to change the winning combination, or is the aim to look forward and see how the pieces are fitting in? If that is the case, then it is not a bad option to try Varun and Washi in play, not dropping these Kuldeep and Aksar or Jadeja, but just trying and seeing whether they are kind of ready for the job. So what the priority is, it's up to the team management how they want to look at it.
Vijita, India has five spinners in the lineup, in the squad for this ODI series. Three of them are all rounders, and two are out and out wicket takers, so to speak. Uh, Kuldeep played in the first game. Do you see any chance at all for Varun to play in any of the two games left here or in the Champions Trophy, if we speak for that?
I think the management wants to play Varun because otherwise they wouldn't have insisted on getting him on the squad. You see, they have plans for him for the Champions Trophy, especially with Bumrah unlikely to be there. So it's like we had thought initially that Yashasvi was not part of the regular 11. He was a stand-in. But it turned out later that actually he was part of the original 11. So I think Varun has also been taken with some specific functional purpose of the team in mind. And if I'm guessing Indian management, Indian think tanks mind right, then he will be considered. He will be playing.
So, Saurabh, the other big
I think
question that
Varun will make his debut. Yeah,
you,
Hmm.
just
Dwaipan,
around.
Dwaipan feels that. What about you, Saurabh?
Yeah, I think it makes sense, to put him in. Kuldeep looked a little bit off color in the last match, but I mean, I won't hold that against him. He's coming back after a long time, and at his best, he's a really great bowler who gives India something that possibly no other team has. Like, there's no Tabrez Shamsi and all are not in the Kuldeep class, when it comes to left arm wrist spin. So I'll give him that margin, but also you want to test Varun out in the 50 over thing. He had a great Vijay Hazare. We should not
Yeah,
forget. So he
just to let you guys know, I just seen visuals of Varun being given the ODI cap, so he's making his debut.
great. So he's definitely playing. Great. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm seeing the same visuals now. So
yeah.
Varun is definitely playing. That's great, and I think it's the right call. You need to test him out in the one day format also. He has had a great Vijay Hazare, but obviously this is a huge step up in level. So
Mm.
you need to get him bowling in a one day international or in two one day internationals maybe before the Champions Trophy, because you need to be able to pick Varun without him being completely green in the Champions Trophy if you want to go to him. So it makes sense to give him a match now for sure. So I'm quite happy that he has got a chance.
The fact that Varun's making his debut mean also. Abhijita, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a small point that, in our side of the draw in Champions Trophy, we have Bangladesh, Pakistan, and New Zealand.
Mm.
Uh, you know, uh, if we had, say, a team like South Africa, then players like Kuldeep and Varun, would have been probably much, much more effective.
Mm.
But these teams, relatively speaking, are better players of spin.
Mm.
So that point, that aspect is also there. Nonetheless, we I think the think tank believes that in Varun they have a trump card,
Mm.
which is why he's being preferred.
I do you Vijita, do you think the current Pakistan team is also good players of spin? They've had their troubles against. I mean, they couldn't play Jomel, Warrican, and Moti in the West Indies tests. So how?
No, वो तो test matches थे.
Ah,
See, their teams is has a lot of hitters,
hmm,
so they will take their chances, and to that extent they might succeed.
hmm,
The lower order is filled with hitters. People who aim to score, say, 70 runs in 20-25 balls. Although they may not be uh, able to do that. So they will be tested against spin, against quality spin, but their intention would be to attack.
hmm, hmm,
Dwaipan, just picking on the point that Avijita made about India's side of the draw in the Champions Trophy, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and New Zealand. I specifically want to pick on New Zealand. It looks like New Zealand are losing players left, right, and center. They've lost left, right, and center. नहीं थोड़ा over exaggeration हो जाएगा. They've lost. They more or less may not have Lockie Ferguson because he's got injured in ILT20. Sam Curran's been standing in as a captain for Desert Vipers, where Lockie's been the captain. We had that unfortunate incident with Rachin Ravindra yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that. The ball went and straight hit him on the forehead because he
yeah.
lost it in the lights.
Hmm.
How do you see that thing impacting New Zealand? Just a digression from what we already
No,
discussing.
but I saw New Zealand yesterday, bits and pieces of that game against Pakistan, and they looked a very good side. Like the and b- see, one thing is they have just not too long ago they have won a Test series in India where they played spin so well, and there is an element of confidence going into conditions like these, and the way they dominated yesterday, scoring 330 runs. Glenn Phillips coming good. So I think that there is a potential strong core there. An injury notwithstanding, like they will be a force to reckon with. I don't think Bangladesh is any cause for worry in the ODI format. Uh, Pakistan is Pakistan. You never know what to expect on their day, but New Zealand is a tough nut. It's not going. It may not be just a rollover. You just turn up and win. So we have to prepare for the such games.
Yeah, we are just building up to the second ODI being played at Cuttack. The toss happens in 8 minutes at Cuttack. We already know that Varun Chakravarti is going to be making his ODI debut. The other big question is uh, sh- about the pace bowling lineup, because there's still no clarity on what happens with Jasprit Bumrah. So in that sense, Saurabh, how do you look at the role of someone like a Arshdeep, because he's been mostly used in the T20 format by India?
No, I think this it's following the same logic as Varun. Arshdeep should also get at least one game in this series. I think but there's no reason why he can't be successful in 50 over cricket with the way he has been bowling in 20 over cricket. So I think he should get a game. Uh, Whether he will or not, I don't know, because last game they preferred Harshit Rana over him. Whereas if you had thought before the game, if you were told that India are going to pick two pacers, looking at the squad, you would have said the two pacers are going to be Shami and Arshdeep, but it turned out to be Shami and Harshit. So the think tank clearly rate Harshit Rana very highly. I know you will say who in the think tank and for what reason, but it's clear that he's rated highly because he's obviously played all formats within 3 months now for India. And I read a stat that he's the only one who has at least 3 wickets in each of his debuts. Like he got at least three in his on Test debut. He got 3 wickets on T20 debut. He got 3 wickets on ODI debut also, which is quite something. Like he may have got carted in that first over, but I felt for Rashid Rana since I saw him in Perth. I felt that he has great raw material. He's obviously young and he needs to develop further. He'll acquire that skill and that intelligence and of bowling as he plays more. But I think he's a guy who comes with great raw material. So he's potentially one of the guys who you can think will be a regular for India for several years. So I don't really have a problem with the team management giving him a go, but I do think you have to think a little bit short term now, not only long term, because the Champions Trophy is there. If you're serious about the Champions Trophy, you have to think a little bit short term. So think of who is going to be your best bets to win the Champions Trophy and give them more game time than just try to give everyone experience so that you have a fallback option or not. Like I agree with Varun getting the ODI cap because Varun is a realistic shot of actually making the 11. If you have, let's assume Bumrah is not going to be fit. If Bumrah is not fit, who would you pick as your two pacers? If you think Shami and Ashdeep are the two you want ahead of Harshit Rana are the greater wicket taking threats, then just give them the games. That and yeah.
Avijita, where do you stand on this pace bowling debate? Because we have Shami who's coming back after an injury. He's played a couple of games in the T20 series, and he played the first ODI. Have you seen enough of Shami to be convinced that he's ready for the bigger load during the Champions Trophy?
The good news is that he seems to be completely fit. But there is a difference between being match fit, which he is, and at the peak of his game. You see, I really don't think that he has hit the peak, you know, of his game, and that will take time. Uh, and I don't think the peak will be coming in Champions Trophy, because he has been out for quite some time. उसको तो लग जाता है 6 महीने लग जाते हैं to hit the peak. Arshdeep, again, he brings variety to the attack. Being a left armer, and Harshit also, as Saurabh said, that he's a player for the future. But the point with the future is that you cannot force the future. You cannot uh, future is a process. You arrive at it, and the question is whether you think, how strongly you think Harshit is part of your integral team for the Champions Trophy. That should be probably our thing. Uh, but the way he was made to play in the first match, uh, you know, it means that the think tank thinks that he is ready for Champions Trophy. They just wanted to be sure, and he took 3 wickets. One of the wicket ideally can go to Yashasvi, but he still, the thing with Harshit which I like is, first of all, physically he looks like he's built to last. You know, he looks long term, and he doesn't seem to get overawed. He has got the skills. He was a very good T20 bowler, so he has got variety. So I think the management will take a match to match call out of these three if Bumrah is not there. In some matches in the Champions Trophy, they will play, whichever combination they feel is depending on the opposition and the conditions. They will juggle around with 3 people. Nobody will be, the chosen one. Okay, we are going with these two. We'll have a bunch of 3, and if we have to go with 2, we will choose 2 for that particular match.
Dwapend, the other big debate is the wicket keeping slot. You have two claimants. There were reports before this ODI series and before the selection for the Champions Trophy that KL Rahul has conveyed to the team management, I don't want to keep wickets because he's worried about his knee. He's already missed 2 seasons of IPL. If something happens, then he doesn't want to miss another season of IPL as well because of this constant heavy workload with the wicket keeping gloves. Where do you stand on this wicket-keeping debate, especially in the one-day format? I think that the Test debate is settled. It is going to be Rishabh Pant and Dhruv Jurel. In the T20 format, you've got Sanju Samson, and you can have anyone between Jitesh, Dhruv, or even Rishabh as the backup. But in the ODI format, where do you stand on the wicket-keeping debate?
See, as far as I'm concerned, I think Rishabh Pant is a lock. He should be playing because two things: a, Rishabh Pant's explosive ability; b, Rishabh Pant's the fear factor that he brings to the table; and c, if you are not playing Yashasvi Jaiswal at the top of the order, that at 4-5 that left-hander bat, who can be that right-hand left-hand combination that they are looking at.
Yeah,
KL Rahul is.
Weapon,
Huh,
just to stop you there, just to to disappoint Saurabh, Rohit is at the toss. There's no selfless act today once again. Go on, Weapon.
yeah.
You told
So
me I'm on team Rohit, so I shouldn't be disappointed.
Go on, go
You
on,
are switching teams quicker than fans do.
go on, go on, go on.
yeah, so my pick will always be Rishabh Pant. Like there is no doubt about it. KL Rahul is a good player as it is, but I don't know. Like I don't know what Gautam Gambhir's thinking is. I don't know. I hear that he has very strong personal choices, and he is probably not a great fan of Rishabh Pant's white ball abilities. That's what I have heard. I'm not very sure, but so he wants to keep KL Rahul in that slot, and KL Rahul, if he has to find a place in the 11, he has to keep. Otherwise, he doesn't have a place in that 11. So it's a bit like that Rahul Dravid situation in the 2003 to 2005-6, where he had to keep to hold on to his place. So it is like that. But as far as I am concerned, Rishabh Pant should be playing. There are too many pluses in his favor for him not to play white ball cricket, and the fact that he apparently doesn't have a good white ball record, that was like prehistoric before his injury, and he still has an average of 35 coming into bat at number 5 or 6. So I do not see a reason why he does not feature regularly in the ODI team.
Saurabh, where do you stand? We'll just get you the news of the toss. The coin is just going to be flipped there at Qatar.
I'll make a quick prediction that will become stale in 10 seconds possibly. Rishabh Pant and Virat Kohli in for Rahul and Jaiswal. Let's see whether that happens. Because the thing is, if you drop Jaiswal, you want, like Dwepan Bhai said, a left-hander there. So the casualty of Shreyas Iyer's good form could be KL Rahul in a way. If Shreyas Iyer had failed, then Virat Kohli would have just come in straight off for Shreyas. But now we will know what has happened. So looks like
So
England have won the toss. Yeah.
England have won the toss and have elected to bat once again. So
Hmm.
India will once again have to chase and test themselves, which is a good thing because they lost
Which is a good
the
thing.
ODI series in Sri Lanka last year chasing. They couldn't
Hmm.
chase moderate targets and and
But
ended up
Chandresh,
losing.
those were extraordinary conditions. Like the those Premadasa is like quicksand. Like but this is
Well,
not that. Like yeah.
We are
yeah,
doing the
वैसे I
show.
think
We're
हाँ,
doing the show in English, Dwapan, so be very careful because this goes all over the world. We have Sri Lankans also probably
No, no, but the
logging in, and
Premadasa pitch is like that, no? Like it kind of as the match goes on, 225 looks like 525.
uh,
Dwepan bhai, you have to be careful. Now Chandresh will elicit some bad word about an Indian ground from you just to equalize it, and then throw you under the bus.
I don't do that. Avijita, Avijita, how do you look at this decision by England once again electing to bat? So India will once again be tested while they're chasing. The previous game also it was a moderate target, but they were tested.
See, Baramati Stadium, as I said, has been a big scoring venue. But the last ODI match was 5 years ago, so we really don't know about the new pitch. Deep Dasgupta apparently said that we are looking at a 280 plus game. So that is there. Uh, One needs to see how it plays out. I just wanted to add something to the Rahul Rishabh thing. I there is see Rishabh's talent is undeniable. He has done it time and again. Only thing is that if he comes at a situation where you are looking for say someone who plays uh, without taking high risk options, where you don't need high risk options, whether he has the ability to tell himself, I won't do this today because the situation doesn't need it. This has been his biggest problem, that in that sense he has a one dimensional game. He doesn't listen to the occasion, he listens to his instincts, and that often has let India down. There are so many matches where he has been our best player, but in the end he hasn't given us the best results because somewhere he has overreached himself. And to that extent, what I feel is that Rishabh should be opening for India, you know where he doesn't have a he doesn't have to think about the results. There are other players who can take care of it. But if he comes down in the middle order, where there's a situation where his game needs to be tailored to the situation, then sometimes I feel that is he the right guy? That is
uh,
my problem
Yeah,
with Rishabh.
yeah. Saurabh, you
so
wanted to say
the no, the 11s have been announced. So there are two changes, but it's Virat for Jaiswal and Varun for Kuldeep. So Rahul keeps his place.
so Rahul keeps his place. England have brought in Mark
Three
Wood.
guys. England have three changes. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Wood, Gus Atkinson, and Jamie Overton.
Hmm.
So they are sticking to a pace-heavy attack weapon. They're still continuing to have a pace-heavy attack and just Adil Rashid as the conventional leg spinner, but they don't have any other spinner anyways in the lineup.
Yes, they don't have. They have a see. England is playing the McCallum brand of cricket. McCallum plays a cricket like he kinds of decides on a formula, decides on a template, and plays it that way. So I think what his idea is that even choosing to bat first on conditions like this is kind of getting accustomed to bowling in the dew. which they might have to do in Pakistan, and if it so happens in Dubai, those are the things that they are looking at. They are looking at long term. They are not terribly bothered about this result, and they have a set template in mind, and they are going to keep repeating it over and over again till it, which may work, which it may not work when it really matters. The Champions Trophy, the T20 World Cup, those are their aims, and these are their practice grounds. So otherwise I do not see a reason why a team winning the toss chooses to bat first on these conditions where dew comes in, because it is clearly they want their bowlers to bowl in the dew. uh,
So another update for you guys: Jacob Bethel has got hamstring injury, and he's a major doubt for Champions Trophy. The players are dropping one after the other before the Champions Trophy.
Bethel is a
So,
left arm spinner, right? Like
no, the
uh,
yeah, he bowls a bit, and
bowls a
he
bit of left.
and bats. He's been called
Yeah,
as the
he
once in a
looked
generation
good.
player.
Yeah, he looked good in the first game. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Tom
both his
Banton has been called up as a standby, and
Oh.
today, yeah. So today, so Jofra Archer, Biden Cass, and Jamie Smith are not there.
Mhm.
So it's interesting that
Tom
Saurabh.
Banton was in great form in the ILT20, by the way,
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah. So,
MI Emirates. Mm.
Saurabh, how do you look at it? Jacob Bethel now is also likely to be unfit for the Champions Trophy. A lot of players are getting injured right before Champions Trophy.
And he is an RCB player. He's going to play here in Bangalore. So I hope he gets fit before that. Or if he doesn't, then RCB have a Jake Fraser McGurk like replacement ready. You know, that, like how Jake Fraser McGurk came last year for Delhi and just turbocharged their campaign. So maybe they can get that Mitch Owens who hit that big knock in the BBL final, and he had a good BBL also. But aside from RCB, Jacob Bethel, I think, is a wonderful talent. He's already become a three format player. He was in the 2024 Under 19 World Cup, and or was it 2022? I'm forgetting one of them. But he's a batter who has a lot of skills, but who's still in development. He's a useful sort of bowler, more like a matchup bowler maybe, or a get some overs in quietly sort of guy. And although we have not seen it that much, but I have heard that he's an astounding fielder. Like he's one of the best in the world in the field. So he's definitely a guy that England will miss. But since he was still young, I think they'll be able to cover for him. So it might not be that great a miss. There are enough experienced players to call on, and in the squad and around in the 11. So it might not be that big a miss for their immediate playing needs. But he's clearly a guy for the future. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. For the India thing, so basically we have the World Cup batting order, right? All right-handers, which wasn't a problem in the World Cup, at least. India played like exceedingly well
They
in that
could
World
promote
Cup.
Aksar like they promoted him last game.
And they have the option of Akshar or even Ravi Jadeja. You know, like Akshar last game promotion worked out beautifully, right? And Akshar, I think he has shown a range in his batting that sometimes people forget. He's a little bit understated in terms of his capacity as a batter, especially in subcontinent conditions. You know, in places where there is a bit more seam and bounce, it might be a little tougher for him. But in subcontinent conditions, Akshar is a very legit option as a matchup left-hander in the top order if needed. So, and
Uh,
anyway, yeah.
One
Yeah, go
thing,
on. Yeah.
it was Akshar's, aggression that won us
In the,
the T20 World Cup final.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely,
He made
absolutely,
all the
yeah, yeah,
difference
yeah.
with his 47.
yeah.
He made a huge difference. You know, I mean, Kohli was struggling. Kohli only towards the end he managed to get a few away. Otherwise, and to be honest, you know, if South Africa had got those 30 of 30, we would be talking about that Kohli innings very differently today. Which South Africa should have got. You know, they needed a runner ball in the last 4 or 5 overs of a T20 match with wickets in hand, you're getting that 99 times out of 100, and then we would be talking in a whole different manner about Kohli's innings. So Akshar was definitely, yeah, he showed it in a high pressure game in the T20 World Cup final. He showed it in the last game. He's shown it in cameos earlier also. So I think that way for a left-hander, you're not too fast. They shouldn't be too fast. And anyway, if you have right-handers of this caliber, then I actually think the emphasis on no right left has to be there is a bit overrated in one days at least. One days and tests. In T20s, I can still understand it's a very matchup driven format. But in one days, if you have the caliber of right handers like this, like imagine a Rohit Sharma in form, Virat Kohli in form, Shubman Gill, KL Rahul. These guys, you don't, Shreyas Iyer, you don't really feel the lack of a left hander because they can take on any kind of bowling. It's not like one particular style of bowling just because their right handers will tie them down. So I have no issues with this all righty, potentially all righty batting lineup.
Interesting. Avijita, how do you see this match progressing? Do you think India is starting favorites once again for this contest as well?
See, I hope, I wish rather that England scores high, because then only we will find how good we are under pressure chasing. In the first match, they didn't score enough runs to put under pressure. All these matches are learning experiences. Bilateral matches are learning experiences. So from a chasing point of view, you learn only when you are put under pressure. So to that extent, if it becomes a high scoring match, which I hope it becomes, then probably our batting, especially with our captain out of form, and even our best batter not in the best of forms, we will come to see how the team handles it, because we are again short of one batter. I think Washington Sundar is not there. So we have a very good 6, 7, 8. If Akshar, Jadeja, and Washington are there, I like the way Akshar and Washington handle pressure. The other players, Kohli handles pressure very well, but he's not in the best of form. I don't know how Shreyas and Rahul will handle pressure. So let us see. It will be an interesting match. I hope England scores high.
So, Avijita, your take: India or England this match?
In my last series, I had said India will win the series 2-1. I stay with that. This match, I'll go with England.
Oh, interesting. Dharpan, your take?
No, I think India, on the wealth of talent that they bring to the fore, no, like it is very difficult to beat them. It is very, especially in not non-pressure situations, like in bilateral cricket, bilateral white ball cricket. It is extremely difficult to beat them. I will be very surprised if they lose. And the England batting also doesn't seem to have that quality to deal with spin and score that 325, 330, which can challenge. If India can score 250 after being 20 for 2 in 7 8 overs with that amount of ease, it is very difficult to see India losing these games here. They may lose a semi final or a final in a knockout situation, but these games, no, it's very difficult to see them losing.
Final word, Saurabh: India or England in this contest?
I think India should do it. नहीं तो सब संडे सबका खराब हो जाएगा जो देख रहे हैं ना तो
नहीं, IL T20 का फाइनल है ना.
IL T20 का फाइनल, हाँ, that will make up for it.
Chaliye, on that note, thanks a lot, gentlemen, for joining us today on Beyond the Boundary. Tomorrow we'll be back to the regular timing at 6:30 p.m. India time. So you can join us then to review this particular contest that happens today. But you guys keep liking, sharing, subscribing the channel, and do not forget to press the notification bell. We'll be back again tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Goodbye for now.